Welcome back to Gotta Go Orlando Construction Report and News, your weekly look behind the construction walls at Walt Disney World, Universal Orlando Resort, SeaWorld Orlando, Busch Gardens Tampa Bay, Legoland Florida, and attractions from across Central Florida. This isn't just what's happening, it's what's changed since last week. And this week, Disney continues one of the largest construction booms in Walt Disney World's history. We'll be checking in on Piston Peak National Park, Villains Land, Tropical Americas, Monstropolis at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and a few other Disney projects that continue to move forwards. So grab your hard hat, I'm Shane, and let's head to the Magic Kingdom. If you watched last week's episode, you'll remember that the biggest story was Disney pouring the foundation and installing the base for a massive tower crane that will soon dominate the skyline next to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Well, this week that story continues. Crews have remained busy around the crane base while additional materials continue arriving on site, signalling that Disney is preparing for the next major phase of construction. Tower cranes don't show up until a project is ready to start lifting real heavy stuff like batches of reinforcement bar, steel, concrete panels, and major structural components. So while we may not have a completed crane just yet, everything points towards foundation and vertical construction moving closer. Across the rest of the site, it's all still about preparing the ground for what's to come next. Earth-moving equipment continues reshaping the former Rivers of America, and backfilling continues over at Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is more or less the area where the new river will finish, according to concept art. Crews are expanding utility corridors, and retaining walls are becoming more defined around what will eventually become Piston Peak National Park. One of the most interesting things about the project is that Disney is essentially building an entire new landscape from scratch. The lakes, the rivers, the waterfalls, even the elevation changes. Everything has been engineered before the attractions themselves can rise out of the ground. So while some guests might look over the construction walls and only see dirt, we see the foundation of one of Magic Kingdom's biggest expansions in decades. Over at the Haunted Mansion, the scrims have finally come down to reveal a new paint job, returning the mansion back to its original colours. Also, the grounds around the attraction have been cleared of the bushes and plants which had overgrown and hid some of the architectural details, and planters have been planted up with new shrubs. Just beyond Piston Peak, work continues on the future home of Villains Land. This project is still in its earliest construction phase, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Site preparation continues across the future expansion area, with grading work and utility infrastructure slowly pushing further into the cleared site. Disney has also begun defining the locations where future show buildings will eventually rise. Another important sign that planning is turning into construction. Now we probably won't see a castle or mountains appearing anytime soon. Projects of this size spend months building everything underground before we even notice something above ground. But what we can observe is a massive focus on two new lakes that have been created at the back of the Magic Kingdom. This is one of, if not the most significant construction project. The Rivers of America were flattened and filled in, and Disney needed to find a new home for all that water from Rivers of America and the runoff waters from Florida's storms. Additionally, they needed to develop the infrastructure that carries all that water away from the park itself. And that's why Disney created these new lakes, or retention ponds, or reservoirs, whatever you call them. Now the work is focused on connecting the new lakes, reservoirs or retention ponds to the waterways and tunnels with overpasses. But every week we're seeing another piece of the puzzle come together. It's slow, it's methodical, but it's definitely moving. Now we're heading over to the Animal Kingdom. Tropical Americas is really starting to feel like a project that's turning a corner. The demolition phase is largely behind us, and the construction has moved along rapidly. The site is becoming much more recognisable. Recent aerials show continued progress on the future of the Encanto attraction, additional work around the Indiana Jones area, and more visible development on the new Critter Carousel and the Pueblo Esperanza Village Square. This week, the steelwork went up for what will be the new entrance into the area, which is a big deal for me. This steel structure is what we will all be walking under in 2027. Infrastructure work remains the major focus around the Encanto attraction towards the entrance and dining location, but there are now enough above ground elements that you can now begin to imagine how this entire land will come together. This is exactly the transition we've been waiting for. For months it was bulldozers and demolition. Now Disney is beginning to build. Let's head over to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Construction continues behind the walls on Disney's future Monstropolis, replacing the former Muppets courtyard with an all-new land inspired by Monsters Inc. As I reported last week, work continues on the massive show building, which will house the Doors coaster, and the coaster itself is being built at the same time. Also in the main courtyard, which will become Monstropolis, theming has begun to appear on some of the buildings, and this work is still continuing. Outside of the land, you will see all the buildings wrapped in scrim, and appearing above the construction walls are the new land's entrance posts. Also this week, Disney has shared an exciting new look inside Disney's Lakeshore Lodge, and the up-and-coming Bay Lake Resort is shaping up to be one of the most beautiful destinations at Walt Disney World. Set to open in summer 2027, the nature-inspired resort will feature breathtaking architecture, immersive Disney storytelling, unique dining locations, and spectacular views of Magic Kingdom's fireworks. And here's everything Disney has revealed this week. From the moment guests walk into the grand lobby, Disney Lakeshore Lodge will celebrate the beauty of Florida's natural landscapes. Towering floor-to-ceiling windows will flood the lobby with natural light while offering sweeping views of the wetlands. Disney Imagineers are blending the outdoors with the interior through natural materials, artwork, and thoughtfully designed spaces. One of the lobby's most eye-catching features will be a glowing fibre optic river inspired by Pocahontas, flowing across the floor beneath guests' feet. Looking up, guests will discover a breathtaking blown glass, colours of the wind sculpture, featuring hundreds of suspended glass leaves that create the feeling of movement throughout the space. The lobby will also feature custom tapestries inspired by the landscapes of Pocahontas, alongside handcrafted furnishings accented with reclaimed river cypress wood. Disney also revealed the resort's impressive lineup of dining and lounge experiences. First up is Moonglade. Located along the shores of Bay Lake, Moonglade will be the resort's signature table service restaurant. Guests can enjoy seasonal, locally sourced cuisine while taking in panoramic waterfront views through massive windows overlooking Bay Lake's iconic cypress trees. The restaurant's lighting and interior design are inspired by the natural play of sunlight and moonlight across the water. Up next is Bay Lake Provisions. Need a quick breakfast before heading to the parks, or relaxing coffee after a day of adventure? Bay Lake Provisions will serve the resort's all-day quick service marketplace, offering specialty coffees, fresh meals, and grab-and-go favourites in an open kitchen setting. Disney also teased that guests should keep an eye out for hidden woodland critters inspired by classic Disney films throughout the space.
If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to smash subscribe, and if you're watching on TV, all you have to do is scroll up on your remote and the subscribe button's just below the play line. It really does help the channel grow. Or you can scan the QR on screen right now. You can also follow us on Instagram for the latest news, guides, tips, tricks, and what's going on here in Orlando, Florida. And if you don't have Instagram, we're also on Facebook and X. And we also have our very own website that covers everything that's happening inside the parks and outside the parks. Just search Gotta Go Orlando.
Next we have Paint Out Point Bar and Grill. Located beside Lakeshore Lagoon, Paint Out Point Bar and Grill will offer specialty drinks and shareable bites in a relaxing outdoor atmosphere. Inspired by the tradition of plein air painting, the venue will feature original artwork created by Disney Imagineers after spending time sketching the natural beauty surrounding Bay Lake. Perhaps one of the most exciting new locations is Dandelion Terrace, a beautiful lounge designed to become one of Walt Disney World's newest firework viewing destinations. Guests will enjoy incredible views of the nightly Magic Kingdom fireworks reflecting across Bay Lake, while surrounded by a two-story gallery featuring archival artwork from Disney classics, including Fantasia, whimsical dandelion-inspired lighting fixtures, and warm ambient lighting promise to create an unforgettable atmosphere for ending the day. Disney's Lakeshore Lodge continues to evolve into a resort unlike any other at Walt Disney World, blending breathtaking natural surroundings with classic Disney storytelling and thoughtful design spaces for guests to relax, dine and reconnect. From peaceful mornings with coffee overlooking Bay Lake to unforgettable evenings watching Magic Kingdom's fireworks from the Dandelion Terrace, Lakeshore Lodge looks set to become one of Walt Disney World's most sought out after resort destinations when it officially opens in summer 2027. But what do you think about the new lodge? Let us know in the comments down below. I happen to love the design, but is it in the right location? Now, while Disney is busy transforming the Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, Universal Resorts certainly isn't taking a break. From Halloween Horror Nights preparations to what's next for Epic Universe, there's plenty happening across the resort this week. Let's begin at Epic Universe. Even though Universal's newest theme park is now welcoming guests every day, construction across the property is far from finished. In fact, one of the biggest stories this week isn't inside the park at all, it's what's happening next. Universal continues moving forwards with future expansion plans around Epic Universe. Recent permit activity and visible site work suggests additional developments are already being planned behind the scenes. This is exactly what Universal promised from the very beginning. Epic Universe was designed with room to grow, and while the company hasn't officially revealed what these future projects will be, permits which have been published are now pointing to two new attractions at the park. One over at Dark Universe, which is rumoured to be a water ride possibly based on the creature from the Black Lagoon, and the second is for a Harry Potter Ministry of Magic ride. It's very exciting to see that work is already beginning behind the scenes. One thing that makes Epic Universe unique is that Universal intentionally left space for expansion. That means today's park isn't necessarily the park guests will be visiting in 5 to 10 years from now, and honestly that's pretty exciting. Over at Universal Studios Florida, Halloween Horror Nights is rapidly taking over the park. If you've been visiting this week, you probably noticed construction walls, themed facades, lighting rigs, temporary structures and scare zone equipment appearing throughout the park. It's honestly one of my most favourite times of the year. We all know I love Halloween, and one day there's an empty street, the next day there's an entire haunted street beginning to appear, and that's the magic of Halloween Horror Nights. The tribute store will have a story connected to the downtown Clowntown scare zone, featuring a freak show aesthetics unifying this area, and this week we got to see the theming elements being added to the building. Club horror graphics have been added to the DJ booth, a new Hellraiser food truck has arrived, arrived, and even outside in City Walk, theming has started to arrive at the Red Coconut Club. Also for HHN 35, Hamikuma is making his first official US meet and greet debut. Guests can meet the undead bear inside the Five and Dime store in the Hollywood area during event hours. Originally created for Universal Studios Japan back in 2021, Hamikuma, and I know I'm probably saying the name wrong, the scary cute half bear half zombie mascot whose guts literally spill out, has transformed into a massive global phenomenon across Universal destinations. Also at Universal Studios Fast and Furious, the track layout was completed last week, but work has continued with tweaking some of the structural elements, with crews cutting and removing support plates and replacing with new ones. Also, some foundations have also been removed, moved and reformed and poured. This was due to some misalignments which can happen with projects of this size. Also, work has continued on the platforms on the launch, braking sections and trim sections. These platforms will be used should there be an e-stop to offload guests. Also, work is continuing on installing the steel frame for what will be Scene 1, which you'll enter once you leave the station. Also, with Poseidon's Fury well into its demolition, we can now report that the new Fast and the Furious Hollywood / Orlando Drift is now visible from Islands of Adventure. We can also report that this week 2 new site container offices have been delivered on site and are waiting to be installed on the new gravel pad which has recently been installed. Also, drainage materials have arrived on site as well, signalling that groundworks are about to commence. Also, over at Jurassic World River Adventure, work continues on the refurbishment of the attraction, which is not due to open until November the 20th of this year. The Ultrasaurus in his lagoon is awaiting its new skin, and work still continues on the paddock walls. Over in the entrance area, work continues on the roof and are awaiting the thatched roofs to be installed. Around the rest of Universal Orlando Resort, work continues on a variety of guest improvements, landscaping projects and infrastructure upgrades. These projects are small, but they are all a part of Universal's ongoing investment in keeping the resort looking fresh as it welcomes more visitors. Work continues clearing of the area for Luke Combs Category 10 bar, and painting at the front of Universal Studios is moving forwards. For now, forget getting them selfies of the Universal archways. Also, the new bins that started to arrive at Walt Disney World have also started to arrive at Universal City Walk. The new bins are solar powered and inform team members when they are full. And now, if you're struggling to use them new bins, and I can't even believe I'm saying this, there are videos online showing you how to use them. It's these smaller projects that often make the biggest difference to the guest experience. And that wraps up this week's Gotta Go Orlando Construction and News Report. A massive thank you to BioReconstruct for all the images provided for this video. Please go and check his channel out. We have him in our links down below in the description, and is also one of our suggested channels. If you've enjoyed today's update, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a week of construction news from Central Florida's theme parks. And now I want to hear from you. Which project are you most excited to see come to life? Let me know in the comments below.
Hey, thank you for watching this video right to the end. We hope you've enjoyed it, and if so, please don't forget to check out this video right here that YouTube has picked out for you. You can also follow us on these social media platforms right here to stay up to date with what's happening here in Orlando, Florida. Now get out there and go and make some memories. Bye YouTube!